Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips, and on the bench today we have this Multimode II. Now I know it doesn't look like a Multimode II because the customers started to refurb the front, but we'll get onto that later. But before we start, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, join the Facebook group, join Patreon, buy me a coffee, have a look at my website microchips.net, and let's get started. So the customer said that this has been smashed at the back and had agreed to have a look at it. So here it is, and as you can see the back of it is quite badly dinted in, but you know, nothing that can't be straightened out. Our PLL chip, 45th week of 1980, for all you playing along at home. And let's have a look at the underside. So yeah, immediately I spot the problem. And as you can see, it's quite badly smashed at the back. Not too bad, but you know, it's bad enough. There's nothing that can't be sorted. It's only single-sided print, so nothing a few bridges won't sort out. Whilst I was inspecting it, I noticed both of the carrier balance pots, the tops had come off them like they do normally, and the FM deviation one had suffered the same fate, so we will replace those later on. That shouldn't stop us getting the radio working at the moment. So I think the best way to attack this is take the whole back off, unsolder everything so I can see exactly what's going on. So I've taken away the back plate. I'll straighten that out, that won't be a problem. It's only flimsy metal, so that's not going to be an issue. And as you can see from the back, it's quite badly smashed. But that shouldn't cause us any problems really, we've done worse. So I'm just trying to straighten the boards back into some form of position of where they were originally. And then what we'll do is we'll put a nice brace across this back piece with a nice thick piece of wire. See if we can't get the boards to stay into place. And this one in the corner, as you can see, it's cracked all the way across, so we've scratched every one that's broken, and we'll either put a solder link across or we'll put some strengthening wires as such. The board seems quite secure now, so I think that's going to be okay. So we've reassembled the back, we've straightened it out as best as we can. I think it looks a lot better than what it was. I've had to take the cell coil out as well because that was smashed. And we'll get rid of the wiring for that in a minute. So let's see if the radio actually works. So initial test, we have nothing. On the VCO test point, we have nothing. No adjustment, nothing. So we have an issue. So let's do some basic checks. So I'm on the 10240 test point. So the 10240 is resonating, which is not a problem. Now let's have a look at some voltages. So let's have a look at the supply for the PLL. So 5.3 volts, so our Zener's not gone. And all the other supplies are present. So let's start changing some bits. So what should we change first? Well, I think the easiest thing to change will be the VCO. So we'll pull the VCO out, because it's going to get changed anyway. for one of my VCOs. So we'll try this, see if it makes any difference. So our VCO's in on the test point and still nothing. Now I do test these VCOs when I make them, so they should be already roughly set up, and we've got nothing. So looks like we're going to have to change the PLL chip whilst we're at it. So I popped in a temporary PLL, and sure enough we have a decent VCO voltage. It's adjustable. Okay, so it looks like our PLL is at the issue with that. But it's not going to be a problem because we're going to be replacing it with one of my PLL replacement boards anyway. But we just need to get the radio working first, and then we can start the modifications. So, nice healthy 9 watts. And it's working there. Mid-high, super high's working. So yeah, all good. So we'll just make sure that this coil is peaked. Yeah, that's not a problem. That coil is the output from the crystal as it gets doubled before it goes into the mixer. So we need to get rid of this cell coil now because it was smashed. So we'll just cut it away and join this orange wire across, and that will enable the sound back again. So let's get these VRs removed. So the two for the carrier balance. I don't know why these things decide to disintegrate like they do. They just seem to fall apart. Maybe it's metal fatigue, who knows. Maybe it's age, who knows. But for whatever reason, they just like to fall apart for the fun of it. And we'll do the FM deviation whilst we're at it. So that's this one up here, and we're going to be doing the FM audio mod as well on this. So this does need to be working. Okay, that's those desoldered. And whilst we're at it, we're doing C11 as well, because we know that's a common failure point, which is a 560 picofarad that stops the 10240 from oscillating. It wasn't the issue on this one, but we'll change it as a preventative measure because they do like to start playing up. I've actually got a video on one where it was actually being faulty, and yeah, it can cause all sorts of strange problems, from just not oscillating to causing strangeness. You see I'm having fun and games pulling these things out, but eventually they succumb to my pliers. So there's our new pots fitted. C11's been replaced. Now we're just going to sideband with no audio and set these for as low as we can get them. And just working between both the pots, we can get them nice and low, which is as per the service manual. So we'll just check it on LSB, make sure we've got the same on LSB, and we'll get a happy medium between the both of them. So just going back and forth on the controls. Yep, absolutely fine. Right, on to the next job. So RF bias. So we need to change this resistor on the base of the final output. Need to change it for a 15 ohm so we can get 0.7 of a volt on the base. So this is just standard stuff really. And we take it out and Yeah, it looks like it's been getting quite warm. So it's a good job we were going to take this out anyway. So we'll replace that with a 15 ohm, go on to sideband, and we set it for 0.7 of a volt on the base, just like so. Okay, we are transmitting. Okay, that's good. Check receive.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, it all receives nicely. So now we can get on with doing the extra work that the customer wanted. Because there's no point doing all the extra work when the radio's not working. So off with the 41 to 80 display change, and we'll start to pull apart this band switch. Now we're going for a single crystal conversion on this, so we can pull out all unnecessary parts. So we just had to move the KC shift board out of the way so we can get access to these components. And we're just going to blatantly tear out a load of parts. So how these multimodes work is there's a 3-position band switch. One of the wafers actually physically switches the crystals. The other wafer switches the crystal trimmers. There's a wafer to switch VCO voltage. And then there's a wafer for the high light. Seeing we're putting in a voltage feed VCO, we won't be needing the VCO wafer, and we won't be needing these. So what we'll do is we'll take them out and we'll replace one of these with a new one. These just basically go to the band switch. Doesn't matter which one is used, as long as there's one per crystal, and seeing we're only having one crystal, we only need one in its place. And we do need to add some extra capacitance into the radio because we're removing all these. As you can see, we're having fun and games with these wire wrap posts. They all seem to be nice and tight in the board. And there's our band switch, nicely removed. So we won't be needing that, and we won't be needing these 2 potentiometers that set the VCO voltage. As a voltage feed, VCO is much more stable than these things, and we get a better range by not using them. And whilst we're in there as well, we're going to take out the FM audio parts. So this capacitor, this inductor needs to go, this capacitor needs to be changed. So basically we've stripped out a load of parts, and now we can rebuild it back up again. So put a new trimmer inside the radio. We've hardwired that so it's always on, and we'll test the radio now, and there we are on mid-band, working correctly as my mod board requires, being set to mid-band. This is all we need. So we fitted a 104 capacitor for the FM audio. And now we'll take out my temporary PLL chip, because we know the radio works now. We'll do the rest of the FM audio modification in a moment, which is that white wire that's flapping about in the breeze. So we'll take out the PLL02A and we'll fit my mod board in its place. So with a little bit of persuasion, in it goes. Just making sure it doesn't touch the back of the channel change, because that'd be bad. So quick check with it just soldered into place. Midband works. So now we can start to wire up the band select. So we need an extra set of wires for the UK offset, which is that. We need an extra set of wires for the highlight, which is now UK light. And the rest of the contacts go to the board. So now we've got all that into place, we can now do our offsets, make sure they're okay. We've also wired up 5kc and 10kc onto the front switches. So yeah, 965's looking good, and we'll check the 962. So there's everything nicely tidied up. I think it looks a little bit better than what it did. Now, I was in the process of adjusting RV6, and as you can see, it's absolutely knackered and fallen apart. So that must have been damaged when the board was broken. So what we'll do is we'll replace those two anyway, just for good measure, because they were right across the shear line of where the board was broken. So we'll get rid of those and we'll put some new ones in. This is definitely the radio that keeps giving. So we'll take those out and we'll replace them, so there's no chance of those being faulty anymore. And we've ordered a decal from our friends at Print Extreme, and there we have it, put back together. Another radio saved. So did some tests, it's working well. 4 bands, -5 plus 10kc, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, join Facebook group, join Patreon, buy me a coffee, have a look at my website. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.